China's Aussie wine tax. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's look at this article from Yahoo Finance. So, China sets duties on Australian wine for 5 years as ties sour. This just seems to be an ongoing issue. One tax after another, and it's going to affect our commodity exporters. Now, if we jump over here to the Observatory of Trading Economics, I've selected wine, which is 0.76 of all of our exports, so $2.16 billion. Still a big chunk of money. And you can see the majority of that actually goes to China, 36.9%. And then what do you have? The US, then the UK, and then it looks like Canada. So there we go, where Aussie wine is heading. The Chinese love our Australian wine. Good Aussie drop. Now, if we have a look here, this is from the agricultural census in 1516, and this I've selected the horticultural yield, fruit, nuts, grapes for wine production. And we can see there in New South Wales, you've got 25.39%. Queensland, we only have 3.97%, which isn't surprising. South Australia, 22.8%. I thought it would be a bit higher than that. That just shows you their marketing, shows you how good the SA marketing is. Tasmania, 8%, or 13.35%. Victoria, 23.97%, and Western Australia at 10.5%. And we can see here just all of the different regions where we grow our grapes. Now, here in the outback, I can't imagine a lot of it's growing out there. It's probably growing right down here. We can see. Can I zoom in on this thing? Oh, and okay, it's really crappy. I can't even move around. But there you go. That gives you a good idea. Hang on. We'll do a forced. There we go. Look at that. Forced web zoom. So, I mean, you get an understanding. This is going to affect a lot of states in Australia, not just one over the other. So, supply lines is a daily newsletter that tracks trade and supply chain disruptions by the pandemic. Sign up here. Okay, there's the plug. Maybe I should actually. That's probably not a bad idea. China will impose tariffs of more than 200% on Australian wine for 5 years. 200% for 5 years. Well, there you go. Formalizing curbs that have been in place for months amid an increasingly fraught relationship with Canberra. Imports of Australian wine products will incur anti-dumping levies of between 116 and 218.4%, with effect from March 28th, the Chinese Commerce Ministry said in a final ruling Friday. Duties on Treasury Wine Estates, Australia's largest listed winemaker, best known for its Penfolds brand, are set to be 175. So let's have a look at, we'll go Treasury Wine Estates. What is the share price sitting there? So right now they're sitting at $10.78. So they've gone down 1.1% on this news. And let's go back to a year. So they're still not doing too bad, guys. Last 5 years. Okay, well, there you go. So in January 2020, they were at $17, and they're sitting about half of that. Dividend yield of 2.13%. I wonder how that's going to keep going. Do they give shareholder discounts, guys? So, the top commodities buyer introduced the interim tariffs in November after it launched investigations into Australian wine, claiming that the product had been subsidised and sold under market value. That's been rejected by the industry body and the Australian government, who said it could challenge Beijing at the World Trade Organization, similar to the action taken on barley. I believe we will recommend that we go to the WTO, Australian Grape and Wine Inc. Chief Executive Tony Battagellan said Friday before the release of the final tariff announcement. Quite clearly, barley's gone, and we don't believe we have a case to answer, so it's logical for us to go down this route. China's love affair with Australian wine ends in a messy breakup, that's true. The latest move comes after almost a full year of one-sided trade reprisals volleyed by China at Australia that has hit a range of commodities from coal to beef and lobster. Ties are frayed since 2018, when Canberra barred Hewitt Technologies Co. from building its 5G network and went into freefall last year as leaders called for an independent probe into the origins of the coronavirus pandemic that first emerged in Wuhan City. While the final ruling from China also featured an anti-subsidy tariff of 6.3 and 6.4%, the ministry decided to not impose it in addition to the anti-dumping duties to avoid double taxation. Well, isn't that nice? China was the top buyer of Australian wine before the tariff, spending close to $1 billion in 2019, accounting for 40% of the winemakers' shipments from down under. So there you go. It's gotten even more. It's just grown since the data from OEC. There you go. 40% of our wine going to China. And now maybe we'll get clear skins back again, guys. Remember those? You get all these bottles of wine for $1 or $2 each. Problem with that is you down a whole bottle by yourself. That was my uni days. I'd be sitting there drafting. I'd be drinking a bottle. And all of a sudden, I'd realize I was drunk. I don't think I can handle it anymore. The duties imposed in November effectively shut access to its most prized market. Though strong European sales countered the slump to China. So there we have it, everyone. China imposing 5 years of tariffs up to over 200% on Australian wine. Penfolds, well, they're still, we'll have to see if they can recover. So our exports, sure, we got to China, but we've got United Kingdom, so we've got a fair chunk going to Europe. I mean, if you count China and Hong Kong, there's your 40% right there, everyone. There's your 40% there. What other markets are there? If we look at what parts of Australia will be affected, every state is going to be hit by this, guys. It's going to have an impact on every state. New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria, and Western Australia. What about the ACT? Do they not have any wine in there? Maybe they're just counted as part of... Well, yeah, they probably wouldn't, actually. They'd be so small, they wouldn't have any land to do it. It'd all just be grown in New South Wales. So, there we have it, guys. A 200% tariff on Australian wines. What do you think? You going to rush out? Stock up on your bottles? Are you a fan of a nice drop of wine? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you enjoy my content and want to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Aussie Broadband. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.